Now to Jacob's pick, a rookie wide receiver who he thinks is going to make an immediate impact in fantasy football this year. Jacob, who is your pick?
So speaking of like regretting, not getting a player, I really wanted this player in that draft, and I almost wanted him more than Jordan Addison, honestly, because I've been really hyped on this guy, and that is Jonathan Mingo of the Carolina Panthers. So, congratulations, Gabe. After I talk for the next 10 minutes, you're going to be in love with this player, and you're not going to want to trade him. So I'm kind of screwing myself over because I want to trade for him. But let's get into it. So Jonathan Mingo, drafted by the Carolina Panthers. So first of all, we watched the draft, right? And what I pay attention to is the way the interest that these teams show in the players when they draft him. For example, Jahmyr Gibbs, right? The Lions staff lost their mind. Dan Campbell,
You
like
keep bringing that up, and they did go crazy.
WWE'd a table, like they went insane, right? It was crazy. Little different. So Jonathan Mingo, he has the draft capital. He was drafted in high second, 39th overall, early second round, right? So at the draft, owner calls him and he says, "Do you know who Steve Smith is?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, we asked him who should we take, and he said Jonathan Mingo. So it's like, I think these narratives, some fantasy analysts, they say narratives don't matter. I disagree. I think at certain times they do. And like Steve Smith recommended this guy. He's probably working with him, and that means the owners were hyped about taking him. So I just think when the ownership and the coaches are behind a player like this and they draft, he has this like early second round, that's pretty high draft capital. So I think the team believes in him, and they're going to give him every opportunity to succeed. He also, the reason why he, leading up to the draft, he wasn't on a lot of people's radar, right? But then the combine comes, and he has an amazing combine. I'm not going to sit here and name the stats and everything. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I understand all of those, all the stats when it comes to the combine. But all I know is that after the combine, his draft value kind of shot up, right? Also, here's one of the things that excites me the most. He has size and speed. He's 6'2", 220. That's pretty good size. He's not a monster. He's no Calvin Johnson, but who is? But that's pretty good size. And if you check his combine score, he had a 4.4640. So like he has speed for his size. Like it's pretty good. So let's look at his college career. It's not the best, but he did show promise. So his first 2 seasons, like he didn't really, kind of like didn't get on the field that much, whatever. Okay. His junior year, his first 3 games, 15 catches, 290 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's pretty good in your first 3 games. Then he gets injured. It doesn't come back to the end of the year, so kind of a waste of a year. Then his senior year, 51 for 861 and 5, right? Pretty solid, but like nothing mind-blowing. But I think he can produce for sure. Here's one of my main factors here. Who's he competing with? Okay, they have Adam Thielen, who's getting older, but maybe solid, right? Maybe solid. Plays the slot just as Jonathan Mingo does. They have Terrace Marshall Jr., who I thought was going to be good, but has not shown any promise whatsoever at the NFL level. And they have DJ Chark, which I actually like DJ Chark, but he's not like scaring anybody, right? I even offered you DJ Chark for a 4th round pick, and you said no, thank you. So
sorry.
If I had to put $100 on which Carolina Panthers wide receiver is going to have the best season, I'm not even second guessing it. I'm putting that on Jonathan Mingo. I think he's the most talented out of this group. I think obviously he's the freshest. He's gonna, I think he's gonna take that job and produce the most when it compared to his teammates at the same position. Also, like he plays the slot, right? He played the slot at Ole Miss a lot, and Adam Thielen plays the slot a lot. So it's like I think he's going to get a lot of playing time when Adam Thielen's like out of gas. So, and who knows, maybe also having a guy like Adam Thielen there, a veteran presence, can help him, adjust to the NFL level as well. Like Adam Thielen's a pretty like humble guy. I don't think he's going to be like, no, I'm not training that rookie, So I think he could probably help him out a little bit with the route running and all that stuff.
I mean, look what he did with Justin Jefferson. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. And another major factor for me, and I think this is important, rookies coming in together. Who's the number 1 overall pick this year? Bryce Young. They were drafted together. They're going to go through the ringer together. They're going to, they kind of become, we've seen it with Pickett and Pickens, right? They become boys because they're rookies. They go through all the rookie trials and all that stuff together. And so once you go through that with somebody and you guys become close, when you're on the field, you're looking for your guy. So I just think all of these factors go into, I honestly think Jonathan Mingo has the potential to be the number 1 rookie wide receiver this season. I honestly believe that. So
rookie
I
year,
love it. I love this guy. So when we were doing that draft, I was going to take him at 201, but that's not how the draft shook out, right? Like just not how the draft shook out. I traded up twice to get Addison and Kincaid. So that's my take on Jonathan Mingo.
No, man, and I love all your input about Jonathan Mingo. Obviously, he was the one that fell to me. What I'm curious about is, did he fall to me with one of the picks that I traded back for? That's what I'd like to know, because I think, but that's a topic for after the podcast.
You got Mingo like in the late second.
In the late second, fair enough.
Which is great.
Fair enough. One of the things that I have to say is, obviously, I think he's talented. I think he can make an immediate impact, like you're saying here. One of the biggest question marks, however, is kind of the last thought you brought up, which is Bryce Young. Obviously, the number 1 overall pick. Historically, though, the number 1 overall pick is almost a 50-50 shot in terms of, are they going to succeed at the next level? The only thing that I think Jonathan Mingo has going for him is all those things you just mentioned. But specifically, if by chance the Carolina Panthers, and most notably Bryce Young, go through learning curves, it's anticipated, it's expected that they're going to struggle this season at times, especially with new coach Frank Reich, that they might be down a lot. And what do teams do when they're down a lot? They throw the ball a ton. So I think Jonathan Mingo is going to see ample opportunity to succeed at the next level. I just hope Bryce Young is the answer for him. Really, honestly, my thought process is I hope he is. I don't wish anything else. I want a league where you can draft 30 quarterbacks and they're all going to be fine for fantasy. That's just not the way it pans out. But I'm rooting for Bryce Young. I think he has the tool set to do it. I don't care about his height.
Bryce Young doesn't have to be a good fantasy quarterback for Jonathan Mingo to succeed. Not at all.
Seen that time and time again as well. Jacob, you hit the nail on the coffin there. I think we should close the book on Jonathan Mingo. He's a wide receiver that Jacob thinks can make an immediate impact in 2023, and I'm right there with you, bud.